I'm ready. Hello, everyone. Well, first of all, I would like to thank our hosts for inviting me. It's really a great honor for me. I'm very happy to be here. And second, before I delve into this little collection of mine, let me say a couple of words about myself. So my name is Katya, or Katya 3D on Instagram. I live in Canada. I'm an amateur stereo photographer. I also write, I do podcasts, and I teach. I started my stereo journey about 5 years ago, and I must say that the entrance point for me, just like for many of my friends, was Queen in 3D book by Dr. May. And the moment when I looked at the first stereo through the OWL stereoscope, I instantly remembered some very precious memories from my own childhood. And so I thought about the stereo slides that I used to have in my very, very early years. And I was very lucky because I could actually find these stereo slides. One of the times when I visited my parents, I took them and I brought them to Canada and I had them scanned. So that's why I can show them to you today. Yeah. So, and I grew up, even though now I live in Canada and I lived in many other places. I spent my childhood, I grew up, and I spent my early youth also in the Soviet Union. Yes. And many, like we were not exposed to many things that you were exposed to, like for example ViewMaster, but we had a different kind of stereo slides, which as I realized much later was called Stereomat. I don't have too much information about them, but I can show you what I have, and I can share whatever I was able to find out. So this is how they looked like. Yeah. So these are these cards, and this is the viewer, which I think was called Stereomat. It's very, very old, as you can see. And I'm really surprised that it's still working. But to view them, you would start from bottom and you would go to the top. Yeah, so like one stereo pair after another, and you have 6 pairs overall. Yes, and you just look through this viewer at some source of light, and you would see some amazing pictures. Yeah. So let me start sharing my screen. I hope I can do it. Yeah. So, okay, so I think I'll leave it like this and not do the full screen, because this way it will be easier to preview this. Yeah. So for this presentation, I prepared some slides that I love most of all, that are the most precious. I have a bigger collection, but I decided that I will show you the full cards, yeah, so that we can follow the story, because each card features a story, and I think it's important to see them, you know, like as all 6 pairs of slides. When I announced this this talk on my Facebook, many people of my age, and who were also from the former Soviet Union, they all recalled these slides with a lot of fondness. So everyone loved them. I think we all regarded them as treasures, because we didn't have too many things to enjoy as kids. And so this card that I'm showing you right here was probably one of the first ones that I had, and so it's extremely precious to me, and I hope you can all view them as stereos, because they really make sense as stereos, because I think they are so extraordinary in terms of how the sense of depth is being used. So we see these two little guys here, and one of them obviously stealing a ham from his friend. And it's also very interesting what kind of a setting is there. So we see this almost like fortress-like space. Yeah. And so we go along with this little mouse, we go up, and as I told you, we also go up when we look at this slide, so which is really interesting. Yes, like they're using this dimension as well. Yes. And so he climbs climbs up, and so again we see this, fortress-like wall. And then this, again, this little thief jumps or maybe falls, we don't know. Again, of course, very beautiful lighting.
Katya, could you, someone is asking in the chat if you can hide the bar on the right. I think if you just, yes, click on the, yes, there.
Like this, yeah?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sure, absolutely, yeah. Okay. So you want me, yeah, I can quickly show you the stereos again. Okay, so and then he falls into this storage room probably, and again I really love how they use the possibilities of stereos, because when you have a lot of stuff, it's really better to see it in 3D, because you can actually see all these little details. Yeah. And then he puts on the helmet and like looks like a knight or a warrior, and so he's still trying to get this helmet. And again, we are back to this initial setting. Yes, again back to this room, just a bit closer to the foreground. Yeah, but there is a trap waiting for him, and he's trapped. So this is the last slide. Yeah, so this is the last slide. And again, I don't know how it feels for you guys, but for me it always felt like there is movement here. Yes, and I think it's this is the trait that that's really common for all of these slides. You can feel that there is movement, so these are not just still images. Yeah. So here is another series of slides. Yeah, but before I talk about it, I just want to talk a little bit about this this company that produced it, because again, unfortunately, I don't have too much information about this, because I tried to do some research, but I couldn't find out. So if you know anything, I would really love to hear about this. But what I know for sure is that this team that produced this slide was extremely talented, both as artists and as a stereo photographer. So I know that the company's name was Stereomat, that it was produced in East Germany. It was exported to the Soviet Bloc. I think they started producing these slides in the 60s, but most of this, like the ones that I showed you, was produced in the 70s. Yes, it was. I think the company was located in Kamenz, which is not too far from Germany, and I think they stopped working when, of course, when the Soviet Union collapsed, or when Germany, was unified. So I don't think it exists anymore. But yeah, that's all. That's basically all that I could find out. And I also found out about this call numbers. Yes, so we have in the previous slides we had MS. Which stands for Märchen. Märchen is a fairy tale in Germany, and Märchen series, and this is TS, which is Teddy series. Yeah, so this is all about teddies. And again, just look at the way they use the possibilities of stereo. Yeah, so we cannot just see this path leading up to school, but we even see the interiors of the school. Yes, and again, we have this little lone bear in the foreground. So let's see what happens next. Yes, well, we see that this little bear didn't want to go to school, so he threw his school bag into the river. Yeah. But of course, this story is very didactic. So so after that, a lot of disasters happened to him, a lot of misfortunes. Yeah. So first he is chased by a wolf. And then he falls from a rock, and I don't know, maybe you can notice a little string here. So that's very, very, very rare that you see these things. Usually they are very cleverly done, so you don't see any props. And then he's lost at night. And I remember that again, when I looked at this as a kid, I was really mesmerized by this huge owl, sitting on top on the left. And then he comes back to school, of course, all mortified and miserable and bandaged. And again, look at this. Look at the view that we have, from the window. It's not flat. Again, we have these trees, so it looks like like there is again some depth even behind this window. So this is again the last slide in of this card. Most of these slides, like in terms of the story, I could not recognize them. I mean that I didn't know this, what was the source of this story. Yes, like for example, this little mice. I don't know if there was a story or it was just scripted, for these slides. And same with bears, teddy bears. Also, I don't know that, but some of them, they were recognizable. Yes, this story, for example, is based on the Brothers Grimm fairy tale, which is called Rumpelstiltskin. And the Brothers Grimm stories were very popular in Soviet Union. They were all translated, so we all knew them. Yeah, so this story I really knew very well. So just in case you don't know this story, I'm gonna give you a little summary, yes, of what happens here. So in order to appear superior, a miller brags to the king and the people of the kingdom he lives in by claiming his daughter can spin straw into gold. The king locks her up, the daughter, in a tower room filled with straw and the spinning wheel, and demands that she spins straw into gold by morning, or he will have her killed. So this is on this slide, on this first stereo pair, you see this poor girl sitting there. So, and again, it's interesting how she's shown. Yes, she's shown through the doorway, and there are these two barrels in the foreground. Again, just to I guess to emphasize the depth. So just as she was losing home, a little gnome appeared, and he offered her some help in exchange for something. So he said he could spin straw into gold. So on the first day, she gave him her necklace, and so he helped her. On the second day, she gave him her ring, and again he helped her. On the third day, she had nothing left, and so he said, well, if you give me your firstborn child, I will help you again. And so she agreed. Yeah. After that, king marries her. Yeah. And so this is the wedding scene. And of course, when the baby is born, this gnome appears again. And so he demands that she gives him her child, but she begs him, to let him be. And she offers all riches that she has, but he says no. and finally, he kind of relents, and he says that, well, you can have your child if you guess my name in 3 days. And so she sends messengers all over the places, all over her kingdom, to ask about some rare names. And on the third day, one of her messengers spots a little man dancing around the fire, singing a song. Tonight, my plans I make. Tomorrow, the baby I take. The queen will never win the game, for Rumpelstiltskin is my name. Yeah. So again, look at this shot. Yes, look at this fire. I think it's quite amazing. Yes. And so when he comes to claim the baby again, she says, well, is your name Kunz? No. Is your name, I don't know, Bruno? No. Oh, you might be Rumpelstiltskin. And so he yells in fury that the devil told you, and he grabs his one of his legs and tears himself in two. Yeah, so that's quite a gory ending, which was quite common for this kind of tales. Yeah. So this is again, of course, the ending of this story. Okay, so here's another example from the MS cards, fairy tale cards. Again, don't know if it's based on a story. I don't think so, but because this is actually about the driving school. Yes, the driving school for kids. And, since again, I grew up among very gray and very dull looking buildings, I really loved again this card because of these colors. Yes, this very colorful buildings and this idea of, you know, people driving their own cars. So again, I couldn't really imagine that one day I will be doing it, you know, for real. So, but anyways, it's again, it's very, I think it's very well done again from the point of, you know, the setting and the depth, and again, this sense of movement. Yes. So what I also really like about this is that you can see some recurring characters here. Like, for example, look at this guy on a motorcycle. Yes, we will see him again. Yeah, so here you can see him talking to someone else, standing here. And then you can see him being like a traffic controller. I don't know how it's called. And then you can see him again here, and he's handing, I don't know, here the probably driver licenses. And again, look at this depth and look at this doorway. Yes, the gate to the street. So again, we can see the glimpse of the street, and we can see the interiors of this building. Yes, on the right. Okay, and last but not least, I want to show you a couple of cards featuring the teddy bears again. Again, there is not too much. I cannot say that there is a story here, but again, this is just that the views are so spectacular here that I think it's worth seeing. So I'm not going to really commenting on this, but just show you these pictures. I really like how the mountains look like the texture looks very, you know, real to me. And also this colorful outfits of these little bears. Again, it's interesting how they are showing it from different angles, the same group. And then look at these 3 bears, you know, just tied together. So we will see them again. So now they're on top. And that's the last one where they're celebrating that they got to the top. Okay, and the very last one, probably my favorite one from the Teddy's series, TS series. So we start with this scene of 2 little bears watching something on TV, and it is space related. And then next, we see that one of these bears is going to be an astronaut. And so his mom is bidding him goodbye. And here they are in flight, in space. I don't know, I always, again, loved the view of this asteroids. Just look at them again, they are in 3D. Very beautiful picture. And here they are visiting some distant planet. Yeah, and I really love this these flowers. There's some kind of vegetation. And then the rocket, I don't know, maybe even falls, doesn't land, but falls on a different planet. And then we are back home. And of course, it was just a dream. And the little bear just fell from his bed. And his mom is checking on him. Okay. So yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. I hope you have enjoyed this little trip down the memory lane. And well, at some point I posted all of my collection. It's not huge, on my Instagram. So I will put it into the chat box after I'm finished. But you can also search like Katya's stereo collection. That's the hashtag, and I don't think there is anything else under this hashtag. And also I refer you to my to a little essay that I wrote about a year ago for Pascal's stereo site, where I also talked a little bit more about the slides, and you will see maybe some of the slides that I haven't shown you here. So again, thank you so much. Thanks for your attention, and thank you again, VSC, for inviting me. Hope you all have a great day.